So hi everyone, a very warm welcome to all of you from the Olympiad Success family. I am Aarti and I will be your host for today. So kids, the flow of this session would be, first of all, there would be an introduction by your mentor Usha ma'am. Afterwards, we will be having a brief presentation about this course. Okay, so the details about the course will be presented in that presentation. After that, we'll be having a short question and answer round. Okay, and after the question and answer round, we will be starting with the demo session for which you all are here. Okay, so kids like Olympiad success has been into Olympiad's preparation for quite many years now, and it is our third year into live classes. Okay, so like this is our third year when we have started the live classes preparation once again, and we do have a wonderful set of mentors with us, who takes that extra special care to set up the foundation really right for the kids and build up a strong foundation. Okay, and if I talk about the CBSE classes, so basically this is our first year into CBSE preparation. So but then this CBSE these CBSE classes would be, very rigorous, as these are very long, long duration classes. So for like 10 months, your classes would be conducted. Okay, and there is a certain rigor which we would be following in these classes. So there would be regular tests, regular homework given to you. So you have to be up to date with all of them. So you have to do your homework, you have to complete the tests given by your mentor. Also, we would be following the book Lakshmi Singh. Okay, so kids, like, make sure that you have that book. We would be using that book for reference for our classes. Okay, and now over to Usha ma'am for her brief introduction. So she is Dr. Usha actually.
Thank you so
And
much, Aarti. Thank
yeah,
you. Good evening to all of you, and good evening to all the children and to their parents. And a big thank you to the parents for encouraging and motivating your children. Being a parent myself, I know it comes from the parents. So, because you are really very small still. So, class 6 will form the basis of your education, especially in science and maths, which will pave the way for future education and for further studies also. In class 6, we slowly start segregating into chemistry, physics, and biology, strengthening the concepts. So I am Dr. Usha Banerjee. I have a PhD in computer science, and I have been teaching, bigger students for the past almost more than 20 years, and interacting with small students like you since almost more than 1 year now. Last year, Olympiad success was a huge hit. I had many batches of class 6. I think I had 6 or 7 batches. So it was absolutely brilliant, and I have real memorable time with the children. My class is extremely interactive, which you'll see in the demo session, but in the demo class. But usually in the demo class, the children are kept on mute, otherwise it ends up in noise. But the interactive classes, all of you will talk. If you don't ask me questions, I will ask you questions. And we'll follow the book of Lakshmi Singh, and after every class, there'll be assignments and work to be done. So it'll be a regular process. It's not study before the exams. So for the 10 months that we have, that we will be spending together, it will be a focused, rigorous practice. There is no shortcut to success, but hard work, right? So thank you so much.
yeah, thank you so much, Usha ma'am. It's really great to have you on the platform. And students, like, she has been associated with Olympiad success from quite a long time. And kids, by the name of her, yeah, if Usha ma'am is taking the batch, we would be enrolling to this batch, right? So now, kids, I would be requesting Rajan sir to take a short presentation about this course. And if you have any doubts, queries, please do write it down in the chat section, so that after the presentation gets over, we will be taking up all the queries. Okay.
Sure,
All
ma'am.
right.
Students, my screen is visible. You can up the thumb if you can see the screen.
Yes, now it is.
Okay, it is visible. Okay. So firstly, welcome to the demo of class science, class 6 science. Okay. So firstly, let me tell you about us, about Olympiad Success. So Olympiad Success is India's largest online preparation platform for Olympiad exam. We have Olympiad live classes. So this is our third year in live classes. Again, it is India's first exclusive live classes for Olympiad preparation. We have School Plus program. In School Plus program, we offer 8 courses: mathematics, English, science, logical reasoning, communication, in communication, spoken and written both, Vedic maths and coding. Now, about what else we offer online CBSE classes for grade 6 to 12, one-on-one preparation classes for International Mathematics Olympiad like SESMO, CMO, Hong Kong International Mathematics Olympiad, Thailand International Mathematics Olympiad, Math Count, US Olympiad, Math Kangaroo, PRMO, and also JEE Mains preparation classes. Meet our rank holders for session 2021. So in different Olympiad exams, Olympiad success students got this ranks. So we got 40 plus international rank 1, 70 plus top 5 international rank, and 120 plus top 10 international rank. Now about this course, there will be 20 students in the batch and the classes will be conducted on Zoom platform. 2 sessions per week. The days will be Monday and Wednesday. The time will be 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. So the duration of the class will be 1 hour. The session includes of theory, practice question, doubt session, and we also discuss previous year paper. And this year we will refer the book Lakveer Singh. Okay. Now the fees for this course is 16,650, and the duration of the course will be 10 months. The fee include online classes and practice of previous year paper. And students, if you enroll today, you will get free Crash Science Olympiad, that is CSO exam. What else you need to join this course? A laptop with good internet speed and headphone. And a student, we always advise that you require few hours every day to cope up with the curriculum. Why? Because we are going to give you homework, assignments, and you need to complete that. Now, the live classes of this batch will start from 4th April. And currently we have students from 3,800 plus school and we are catering in 35 plus countries. So this is about this course, students. Now, if you have any query or anything, you can ask in the chat box. So do anyone have any question?
Thank you, Rajan sir, for the presentation, detailed one. So students, any questions coming up? No. No questions, Rajan sir.
Okay, so can you tell me like what are the days on which you're having the class? It's right in the chat box. Monday and Wednesday. Okay, Abdul answered. Okay, very good, Abdul. Okay, and what are the timings? Monday, Wednesday. Okay. Okay, 5:30 to 6:30. Okay, okay, got it. So any other question do you have? If you want to change the time, can we?
I'm so sorry, Janvi. Our batches are already decided. So the timings, days, everything is decided as shown by Rajan sir. So we won't be able to change the time, but yes, like if we are starting the next batch, so you can, send us your recommendation on our WhatsApp number, so that whenever we are starting, we'll let you know that we are starting a new batch. Okay.
Okay, any other question?
Any questions? No.
Okay, so then we can, okay. Ma'am, because I'm having the coding class
At that
that
time
time.
and day. Okay, I'm so sorry, Janvi, as mentioned earlier, because we have already decided. So this batch would be, done on the mentioned dates and time only. So like, I would suggest you to, just drop a message at our registered mobile number, WhatsApp number, which is 95607 so that we can, consider your request for our upcoming batches.
Sorry, I missed the subject covering.
I missed the subjects covering. Uh, Panchul, can you elaborate it a bit more? Did you miss the presentation or subjects covering, as in like, can you elaborate on your question, please? Yes, Utsav. So this is a paid course. Okay. So like to come for these live classes. All right. So these are 10 months long. This is a 10 months long course, and you need to pay the amount, which is 16,650 rupees. And then only you can attend this class. Okay. And which subjects are going to be covered? So it would be complete science. Okay. And only science. This is for science CBSE preparation.
Okay, any other question anyone have? No? Okay, okay. So can we start with the demo then?
Absolutely.
Ma'am, is there a separate for maths?
Is there a
Batch
separate
for
for
maths?
maths? Yes, absolutely, Panchul. We have a separate batch for mathematics. So CBSE, as I told you earlier, we have started the CBSE preparation classes. And as mentioned by Rajan sir also in his PPT, so CBSE classes are available for students of grade 6 till 10th. And for CBSE science, we would be referring to the book Lakshmi Singh, while for mathematics, we will be referring to R.S. Agarwal. Okay. And Panchul, what I would suggest is like just go to our batch details page. Rajan, if you can share that link in the
Yeah,
chat
sure,
section,
ma'am.
so that Panchul, you can go to that link and check the details about that course as well. Okay, for mathematics. So the links are there in the chat section. Kids, do copy these links. These would be really helpful for you to enroll to this program or any other program if you wish to.
So any other question, or shall we start with the demo? Okay, start. Okay. So I think over to you, Usha ma'am. I think we can start.
Thank you so much. So I'll begin with the demo class. So this is the demo class for the class 6 CBSE preparation. So basically we will, as mentioned several times, we will be covering Lakshmi Singh's book. And it is expected that all of you should possess the book. So just to tell you a little bit things, I know most of the schools will use the NCERT book, but I can assure you that the Lakshmi Singh book will cover everything more than the NCERT book. Okay. And like I had mentioned in my introduction also, after every class, I'll be giving you questions which you have to answer and submit. So it will be also ensured that all the questions of the NCERT book are also covered. So don't worry about that. All the NCERT questions, all the Lakshmi Singh questions, and above that, usually we at Olympiad Success, prepare our children one level higher. So I can assure you that if you prepare with us, definitely, you score possibly the highest marks of your class, depending upon how much of effort you put in. As I always say in all my, classes, I'll put in 100%, you have to put in minimum 75 to 80%. So this is like a team effort, right? So for today's demo class, I hardly have 40 minutes. Normally the classes are interactive. Nobody is on mute, as I told. So you can ask me questions, in the normal classes. But for today, the annotation is also off and you are also muted. That is just to ensure we don't have, too much of noise and disturbance in the demo class, right? But in my live classes, children are allowed to annotate. And I have taken so many batches till now, I have never faced any problem with students annotating on the screen also, because it really helps if it's interactive and it clears up questions also. The advantage of studying in a batch like this is that I always encourage, if you have a question, ask, or if you want to type it. Some children are a bit hesitant, so type it in the chat window for everybody to see. Because if one child asks a question, I will answer that. So all the children get benefited from that. That is a big plus point of studying in a group. So group study always helps, okay? And children become more interactive and they ask questions more in group studies. So for today's demos class, I'll start off with the first chapter of Lakmeer Singh's book, which is sorting materials into groups, right? So the basic idea, before we get into sorting materials, first I'll show you the syllabus. So this is the syllabus which I will cover, not today, but yeah, when I start the actual classes, the first topic will be sorting materials into groups. And this is the entire syllabus of class 6 CBSE or science. And we'll cover all of this in details, giving lots of examples, loads of questions of all types, MCQs, short answer, long answer, descriptive, numericals wherever applicable, reasoning questions. Okay, so we'll cover the entire gamut of questions, right? So this is the syllabus that we'll cover. Now, before we start on to the actual chapter, what is matter? So matter is anything that occupies space. Space in science is nothing but volume and has mass. So these are two very important parameters, or what we say as they are physical quantities of science. Now, what is the meaning of a physical quantity? A physical quantity means something that we can measure. For example, I say, time. Time is a physical quantity. Distance is a physical quantity. Velocity is a physical quantity, volume is a physical quantity, mass is a physical quantity. So when we start the physics part of the chapter, we'll do a lot of all this. So volume and mass, they are physical quantities, we can measure it. So whenever we, and the main purpose of these, classes is that to strengthen your foundation, understand. Don't just, especially science and maths, don't mug up things and don't just learn up without even understanding, right? So matter is anything which occupies space, which means it has a definite volume and it has mass, right? So I am matter, you are matter, the stylus I'm using is matter. I'm using an iPad, that is matter. I have a glass of water in front of me, that is matter. So anything which has a physical existence. If you have questions, you can, for today, you can type it in the chat window, and what we can perceive. So any of these is matter. So as soon as I talk about what is matter, immediately the next question I will ask you is, can you name me some, not only two things, anything which is not matter? Anybody, you can type your answers in the chat window. I will expect answers, right? So can you give me some examples of things which are not matter? Excellent, Jainam. Heat is not matter. Okay, then what else? Taste, lights. Okay, all your emotions and feelings. If you're happy now, or angry with me now, or irritated, or heat is an emotion. So all your, even a rainbow in the sky. So all of this is not matter. Why? Because it does not have any volume and it does not have any mass. Okay, Janvi, to correct you, Janvi has typed in the chat window air. Okay, Janvi, air is matter. Right. So why air is matter? I will show you a very simple experiment. Okay, I'm dividing the screen into two parts. This is a beam. It is, fixed at the center. I take two balloons, balloon A and balloon B. I fill up both with air. I will show you why, air is matter. Okay. Now with a pin, what I do, this is a pin. So with a pin, I poke balloon A. So what will happen? All the air will come out of balloon A, right? We will see that this beam, so balloon A has become like this, all the air has come out, and balloon B, the air is intact. So we will see that this beam has bent towards the heavier side, which means that this is the heavier side. So this simple experiment we can do at home also. This simple activity proves, so balloon B is heavier, right? So why is balloon B heavier? Because balloon B has air in it. So therefore, air has some mass and has some volume. So air is matter. Air is nothing but a mixture of gases which include oxygen, essential because we breathe it, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and many other small inert gases. Right, Janvi? So whenever you talk about anything or whenever you're seeing anything, understand. Okay. So air is matter. Right. This simple activity will prove to you that air is matter. And yes, in my classes, I use a lot of board work. All my students know it. I will not read through the slides. Fire is not matter. Fire is okay because fire doesn't have mass or does not occupy any kind of volume. Now, why do we need to study this chapter? I told you, now always question, not only me, your teachers in school also, why are we doing this? Now, understand something. Whenever I group objects into a category or a class, this is a demo, this is a class 6 science CBSE batch, right? What would have happened if I had two children of class 10 and one of class 9 and one of class 12? So imagine my position. I would have gone mad, right? So it becomes easy for us to understand. So I know that all the children in this batch are class 6, so 9, 10 years old. All the children have the same mental level. All of you have passed class 5. You are in class 6 now. So it becomes easy for me to understand your properties. Properties as in your behavior, your characteristics. So basically, that is the reason why we sort materials into groups. So as soon as I say, in my fridge, I have, a place where I store vegetables. So immediately, okay, you have brinjal and you have cauliflower and you have tomato. I will never store my mobile phone in that, place. So I will keep everything sorted because if I have to look for vegetables, I will take out my fridge and take out the vegetables compartment and it is all there. So it makes my life easier. So the very reason why we are studying this chapter is because we want to group materials into categories and we want to understand their behavior and understand why they behave in that way. Okay, and what are their properties? So before we go into more details, why do we study science? Okay, why do we have to study science? So basically, number one, we want to understand how things work. When you study, the chapter of electricity, you will understand how the bulb in your house now, a tube light or a bulb, how is it glowing? What happens when you put on the switch or you put off the switch? So we study science to help understand how things work. Second, not now, but later on, we will try to solve problems of daily life. Not in class 6, but yes, after your class 12 and after your engineering or medicine. So if you take up engineering, you will provide solutions to problems. For example, simply I'll tell you, for example, if your, air conditioner remote has stopped working, so immediately you know that the batteries have gone off if you change the batteries. All these are applications of science. Or if you study MBBS after your class 12 to become a doctor, when you are writing on the board, I am not able to understand the words. That's the reason I'm using capital letters. Don't worry, in the classes, I'll be more systematic and organized. Here we are running short of time and I want to tell a lot of things. Please zoom your screen. I cannot, this is not, my screen is on full zoom. It's 100%. I can't do it more. I'll write bigger. Don't worry. So we are trying to solve problems of daily life. And number 3, we are making life easy. The very fact that one of you is in Anand, Gujarat, one of you is in Kolkata, one of you is in Chennai, I am somewhere else, somebody is somewhere else, and we are all connected and talking to each other, right? This is actually an application of science. Okay, so all of these are applications of science. That is the reason we study science. So the reason why we are sorting materials into groups is that we want to study and understand the properties of substances. So as soon as I say, can you give me examples of materials which belong to the category of wooden objects? So immediately, give me examples, wooden objects. I have a group called wooden objects. Very good, Jayanam, pencil, okay, table. Anybody else? I'm sitting on a chair, that's a wooden chair. A sofa in your house is a wooden sofa. So all of these, door, window, absolutely correct. So you can give hundreds of examples, right? So all of these are objects which belong to the category of wood, correct? Chair, painting, door, etc. So wood is the material of construction of these materials. So when I talk about a wooden chair, a pencil, so wood is the material with which these objects are made. So as soon as I say wood, you know that wood comes from trees, and wood is organic. It's obtained from plants and trees. And wood is very, very sturdy, hard, rigid, doesn't break very fast. As soon as I say this in my life class, one child will tell me, ma'am, but a pencil, I catch a pencil and break it, it will break. So remember one thing, also depending is the structure of the object. A pencil is very thin. So if you just bend it or try to break it, the pencil breaks. But on the other hand, so the structure and the size of the object also matters. I give you a pencil, you can break it in 1 minute. But today, if I give you a chair, impossible, right? You can't break it, right? So the size, shape, and structure of the object also matter, right? So, okay. So why do we want to group it into, categories or groups? So we want to understand the property which makes our life easy. And, at home also, your parents must be telling, arrange your study table, keep your clothes clean. It looks good, right? It's easier to handle them, easier to maintain. And definitely by studying the property of one particular group, everything is covered. So today, if I teach you the properties of metals, metal is a category. So immediately name some metals. So we have iron, silver, copper, aluminium, gold. As soon as I tell you the properties of metals, immediately those properties will relate to all the metals in that particular group, right? In this picture, you can see it's a cartoon kind of picture. There is a word called transparent. We'll do it later also. Transparent means light can completely pass through that substance. Or to put it simpler, I can see through. So if I have a cellophane paper or a plastic sheet of paper, that is transparent. My glass window in my house is transparent. So from outside, I can see a beautiful sunset now. I can see trees, right? So you have transparent objects, translucent objects. Translucent means what? 50-50. I cannot see everything. So a part of light can pass through, but the other part of the light cannot. And opaque is something that totally blocks the light. So a piece of wood is opaque, a piece of paper is opaque. I am opaque. You cannot see through me, right? Okay. So these are some of the categories of the groups that we will study about. Rigid means hard. So when I say that any object is rigid, I mean it's very, very hard. Soft, your pillow is soft, a cushion is soft, so on and so forth. Okay, we'll group objects into categories and we'll study the properties of each and every category. So depending upon these groups, as I told you, the first thing, very important thing, is the material of construction. So as soon as I tell you, bring a steel plate from the kitchen, from your kitchen, 90% will bring me a stainless steel plate. Okay, nowadays in India, all our utensils are mostly steel, right? We don't have copper that much, right? So the material of construction of the object is a very, very important parameter, right? So the material might be glass, it might be steel, it might be wood. So now it's pretty hot. Slowly summer is coming in. All of us are wearing cotton clothes. The cotton fiber is also a material of construction, right? Leather, so your jackets are made of leather, and sometimes, you have, yeah, Aradhya, correct. Cement is also opaque. So what is the meaning of classification? Classification is nothing but sorting and grouping them based upon some similarity. Today in this class, I think there are around 7 or 8 children. All of you don't know each other. You're from different parts of the globe, but all of you have been sorted and grouped into this batch. And why you have grouped into this batch? Because you have the basic similarity of studying in class 6 or in grade 6. So that is the similarity based upon which you have been grouped into this class or this batch. So basically, it helps us to group objects based upon one important similarity. And that similarity might be the material of construction. In your case, the standard in which you are studying is the similarity, right? In case of wooden furniture, the material of construction, which is wood, is the similarity. And there might be any. For example, I tell you, open your pencil box, okay? The pencil box that you take to school. Inside you have pen, ruler, eraser, sharpener, you have a compass. So all that can be grouped into one category based upon the kind of use. So you use all of that for doing your school work. So the use is also, yeah, transparent is window, correct. Glass window, Aradhya, correct. Okay, so objects might be grouped on the basis of either their similarities or their differences also. Okay, some of the examples which are given here is appearance. I told you appearance means whether they are shiny. For example, I talk about metals. Most of the girls here must be wearing earrings, right? Typically gold or silver. So gold or silver have a shiny appearance. Solubility, we know that sugar and salt dissolve in water. So sugar, when you mix with water to make lemonade, you get a solution of sugar and water. Similarly, salt and water, you get a solution. So this means that sugar and salt are soluble in water. Can you give me other examples of such solution? Honey and water. This forms a solution. Lemon juice, correct. So alcohol and water. This forms a solution. Absolutely correct. Vinegar, I'm writing ditto marks. Okay, otherwise it will take a lot of time. Lemon juice is nothing but citric acid. So all of these are examples of solution. Now I tell you, give me a solution of two solids. So a solution of two solids is called a alloy. No, ice is not a solution of solids. Ice is just water. Solution means it has to have two or more than two components, different elements or compounds. Ice, the formula of ice is H2O and ice is water, Janvi. So ice is not a solution, right? So alloys are examples of a solution of two or more solids. So when we do the classes, I'll tell you in details what is an alloy, how it is made, different type of alloys. Now this will not be typically in the NCERT book, but when we cover the classes, we ensure that whatever information we give you is complete. Sugar and salt, Aradhya, is not a solution. They don't mix into each other. I give you one bowl of sugar and salt. You can pull out the sugar crystals. Why? Because the sugar crystals are bigger than the salt crystals. So you can separate with your naked eye. So solution means they have to completely mix with each other. You cannot, when you look at it, you cannot separate the two. Powdered sugar and atta chalega, done. Even powdered sugar and maida, it will do. Maida is refined flour. Milk and water solution, right? So there are loads of examples. So, and mostly I take examples from regular daily lives, okay? What you and me handle in our daily lives. So then it becomes easier for you to relate. For example, your mother gives you a glass of Complan or Bonvita or whatever, even coffee, that is a solution. So in coffee, you have a solution of coffee, the decoction or the powder, milk, water, sugar, and then your mother mixes. So that is a solution, right? So this is a flow chart which gives you the physical properties of water. Remember, I told you the word physical means things that we can measure. Measure means we can, what is the, why do we want to measure? Quantify. Quantify means they can have a numerical value. Why is this, useful to us? Why do we want to measure everything? Now I tell you that, I'm fat. You're seeing me, I'm fat, right? So when I tell you I am fat, you don't have any idea. I tell you my weight is 75 kilos, then you know, oh my God, she's fatter than my mother. And now if I tell you, a few years back, I was 85 kilos, and then you will wonder, oh my God, she was very fat. So by looking at the number, you can have an idea about how small or how big the value is. All of you are how much? 9, 10 years old. And I say I'm 46 years old. So immediately you will realize that she's almost, 36 years elder to us. So these numbers, so 10 years and 46 years, so we get a fair idea of how small you are and how big I am. So it always helps to measure. Okay, I give you 1 kilo chocolates now, and I tell you, you come to the live classes, I will give you 100 kilos of chocolates. This is just an example, by the way. So immediately you know that 100 kilos is a big amount. So that is the reason in physics and chemistry, we always want to quantify things. So all of these parameters that you see here, hardness, softness, smoothness, roughness, whether it's waterproof or not, shiny, dull, all of this can be physically measured, right? So we will group materials on the basis of their properties. And these are some properties which we'll study in details. Now, apart from those properties, these are more properties based upon transparency. There should be another category here called translucent. Okay, so transparent, opaque, and translucent. Can you give me an example of a translucent substance? Anybody? Translucent. So I'm writing here frosted glass. Very good, Janam. Frosted glass is the glass that is used in your bathroom windows. You can see, but you cannot see completely. Correct, Spriha? Tracing paper. You also have what is called butter paper. So anything, through which you can see, but not completely. Okay. So all of these are examples of translucent substances. The second property is solubility. So I tell you, sugar and salt are soluble in water. But for example, oil, the sunflower oil or mustard oil used for cooking, that is not soluble in water. So based upon the properties of solubility also, we can classify or sort substances into groups. Next, on the basis of flotation, I give you a plastic ball. So you know that if you put the plastic ball in a glass of water, it will float. Or even ice. Ice floats on water. On the other hand, I give you a stone or a piece of iron. The stone will sink in water, the iron will float in water. Can you tell me, what is the science behind it? So the science behind it is I'm writing in capital letters. So if the density of the object is greater than the density of the liquid, then the object will sink, and else object will float. Okay, so this is the science behind it. Okay, so we'll do a few numerical questions on this also. And if I ask you, what is density? Density is mass by volume. And what is mass? What is mass? Mass is the quantity of matter present in an object. And what is volume? Volume is the space occupied by the object. So, when you study science, this what is very, very important. Question everything. How is it happening? How is the plastic ball floating in the glass of water? Okay, so when you question, you get the answer and then you understand. I always tell all my children, I have so many batches from class 6 to class 12 actually. I always tell that you should always ask questions and try to reason out and understand. If you learn it up and mug it up, tomorrow if there's an unknown question, you can't answer it. Okay. Okay, now, so these are, bars of gold. So gold and silver are used in jewelry, right? So this property wherein the substance shines is called luster, and the verb is called lustrous. So usually all metals, yes, have luster. Luster means they shine. Okay, that is a property of metals. So name it: copper, silver, gold, aluminium, iron, all of them have luster. But sometimes what happens, I don't know if you have seen, suppose you have some silver jewelry, okay? After some time, it becomes black. Why? Because the silver is oxidizing. There's a chemical reaction happening with the oxygen of the atmosphere. It is oxidizing and converting into silver oxide. So therefore, the metal loses luster because of the reaction of atmospheric oxygen and moisture. Moisture means water vapor, right? And that is what has happened to the Statue of Liberty also. You know the story of the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty was made of copper. Copper is a bright reddish brown metal. It was gifted by France to the United States of America. And now it is like a pale green and a grayish color. Why? The copper has got oxidized into copper oxide. Why? Because the atmosphere contains oxygen and there is moisture. So the color has changed because a layer of copper oxide has formed on the Statue of Liberty, right? So most metals lose their luster because of atmospheric oxygen. Now gold. Gold does not have any reaction. In spite of that, gold ornaments become a bit darkish. Why? Dust accumulates on the gold. There's so much of pollution in the atmosphere that dust accumulates on the gold. So on the basis of hardness, I take hold of a pillow here. It's beside me. A pillow is soft. A ball of cotton is soft. A sponge is soft. On the other hand, a piece of wood is hard. A piece of iron is hard, right? So you'll get numerical questions of this also. Transparent, translucent, we have done. So objects that can sink and float, here we talk about density. Now, because today, I've got only 40 minutes, but in the actual classes, all of these take a long time. The entire chapter, usually is covered in 4 or 5 sessions. So today I'm just possibly rushing through and not giving that much time because we're running short of time. So it's very important to understand the concept. So when I explain to you the concept of density, I will also tell you why an iron nail sinks in water, but a ship made of iron floats in water. Right? Now, from that, we come to the concept of buoyancy. How many of you know swimming? So when you know swimming, when you learn swimming, the first thing that your swimming instructor teaches you is how to float, right? So basically, can you just sit in the swimming pool and start swimming? No, you have to lie flat. So which means that the buoyant force is an upward force exerted by the water, balances the weight of the body. So that is what your swimming teacher has taught you. The day you learn to float, which means that your weight of the body and the buoyancy or the upward force, this is also called as the upthrust. So when both of them are balanced, you can swim and you can float. When the weight is more than the buoyant force, the object will sink. And when the buoyant force is more, the object will float. Right? So there's a lot of concepts of physics and chemistry here. So we'll talk about that in due course of time. Now coming to the states of matter. Okay, as soon as I say states of matter, all the children jump up: solid, liquid, and gas. Why do we talk only about solid, liquid, and gas? Because these three are the commonly occurring states of matter. However, in our classes, we'll tell you about Bose-Einstein condensate and plasma. So Bose-Einstein condensate is the lower temperature, coldest actually, minus 273 degree Fahrenheit, and plasma happens at 5000 degrees Celsius. So when we do states of matter, I'll be talking about all the 5 states and telling you details about all the properties, about the intermolecular forces. And we can convert from one state of matter to another state by simply adding energy. And what is this energy we are talking about? That is heat energy. Simple, you take a cube of ice from your freezer and keep it on your hand, it melts into water. So how is it melting? It is taking the heat from your body, and so you feel cold. So you can convert from solid to liquid to gas and to plasma and vice versa also. So we'll study about all of these phase changes. This takes, more than one class. So just to give you a brief idea, the one which I'm circling in red, sublimation, ionization, vaporization, melting, all of these processes require heat. So you have to heat it up. On the other hand, deposition, freezing, condensation, and recombination, you have to cool the substances. And enthalpy is nothing but another word for heat energy. Okay, so we'll do all of these processes of changing states of matter from one state to another. Now you should question me that where is Bose-Einstein condensate? Here you forgot about it. Bose-Einstein condensate is very, very difficult to achieve. You cannot do it by these normal methods. So that is a different phenomena altogether, and that is to be done only in, real sophisticated laboratories under controlled conditions. So you simply cannot heat and cool and form Bose-Einstein condensate. In this lesson, we'll also talk about the concept of mixture, element, and compound. Element is the purest form, and heterogeneous compound is the most impure form of substances in nature. How to separate all of these compounds and all that, which is actually the next chapter. So we'll talk about mixtures, how to separate mixtures, solutions. Normally, when I talk about solutions in science, it is solid plus liquid. When we have two liquids, that is called miscibility. It is not called solubility. It is called miscibility. For example, somebody said water and lemon juice. So water and lemon juice are miscible in each other. On the other hand, oil and water are immiscible in each other, right? So the word that is used is miscibility and immiscibility. And these two words are applicable only for liquids. So when liquids mix in each other completely, they are miscible, otherwise immiscible. We'll also talk in this lesson, we'll do a lot of questions. These are just sample questions. As I told you, we'll solve all the questions of Lakshmi Singh's book, all NCERT questions. Apart from that, previous year's papers and loads of questions. The purpose behind solving the questions is that, then you can understand how much have you understood. That is important. And we'll do analytical or reasoning questions like this also. So mixture of red chili powder in water, butter in water, petrol in water, honey in water were given to Radha, Sudha, Sophia and Ravina, whose mixture is in solution form. So basically, if you notice, first let's circle the liquids. So petrol in water is a liquid and honey in water. Now petrol in water is immiscible, means petrol will not dissolve in water. So the correct answer is honey in water given to Ravina. So you have to, logically come to it's not like define that and define this. So you have to reason it out and then tell the answer. So the advantage of these questions is that it actually, helps you to think, and you, on the basis of the concepts that you have studied, you can answer the questions. So this was, just to give you a brief trailer about what kind of questions we'll cover in the class. We'll cover questions like this also. Why do you think oxygen dissolved in water is so important? So the entire aquatic life depends upon the oxygen dissolved in water. And look at the beauty of nature. Even though if a sea or a pond or a lake is fully frozen, there's a layer of ice on top. Underneath that layer of ice, there is water, and all the aquatic life, whether it's fishes or plants, all of them are living. How does it happen? So all that I'll cover, all this and way more I'll cover in the actual classes. And this was just a brief kind of demo, and thank you so much for your patience. And if you have any questions or anything apart from this chapter also, you can ask me. I'll try my best to answer. I know that for most of you, physical school has just resumed, right? So, and possibly you have just started or not yet. Panchul, not yet. School hasn't started. Anyway, any questions, any doubts, if you want any other questions. Okay, over to you, Rajan.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the wonderful session, Usha ma'am. Kids, if you have any question, you can ask. Do you have any question? Okay. So how was the session? You can let us know in the chat box. Nice. Okay. Fantastic. It was very clear. Okay. Okay, got it. So students, thank you, Usha ma'am, for the wonderful session. We are getting very good adjectives here. So students, I have shared one link in the chat box. Please copy this link, okay, and save somewhere. So to register for this course, you can use this link. And now Usha ma'am will meet you in the classes. So live classes will start from 4th April, okay. How many classes will be held? So the course duration is 10 months and there will be 2 classes per week. The days are Monday and Wednesday. Okay. So any other question do you have? Okay then. Okay then, thank you everyone. Thank you kids. Now we will meet you in the live classes.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Bye, ma'am. Bye, sir.
Bye ma'am.